Hi, my name is Prakhar Verma, and I'm a Principal Product Manager with the Alexa Skills Kit team. Today, I'm excited to talk about new features for our tools and frameworks to improve your productivity. Before we dive into the new features, I'd like to share how we think about improving your productivity as developers. We've spoken with many developers in the community to try and understand how we can help them start building skills and iterate on them while lowering the effort required to do so. First, we want to ensure that you're able to use the tools and processes that you're already familiar with. We are constantly adding new capabilities, so you don't have to move away from your existing developer environments. Second, we want to reduce the effort and resources required for you to start building a skill or use a new Alexa feature. This includes great technical documentation and design guides, as well as frameworks and workflows that let you share and reuse resources within your team or with other developers. And finally, we want to help developers manage complexity as they add richer capabilities to their skills. This means that our tools and frameworks manage boilerplate work for you and support composability of resources so that you can build complex skills in a manner that makes them easy to manage, instrument, and debug. We've heard from you that you want more support for local development using tools that you're already familiar with. 3 years ago, we launched the Alexa Skills Toolkit for Visual Studio Code to let you perform skill-building actions within the VS Code IDE. Since then, we've added capabilities to the toolkit to bring even more of your development workflow within VS Code. Today, we are excited to announce additional features for local development and testing using the toolkit. First, we've updated the skill simulator in VS Code, adding support for APL touch events and voice output in skill responses. Next, we've updated the local debugger with multi-region support. We have also added support for APL 1.6 and added new templates that you can preview and add to your skill, all within VS Code. Previously, you could only deploy skills using Alexa-hosted skills in VS Code. Now, you can select the self-hosted option and provide the required metadata if you deploy your skill to your own Lambda or HTTPS endpoint. And finally, we've updated the welcome screen to make it easy for you to be updated on new features and launches. Let's go through a demo to check out these features in more detail. First, let's check out the updated skill simulator. Note that you need to register your machine as a beta AVS device to use these new capabilities. You can find instructions in the technical documentation for VS Code Toolkit. Once you've registered your device, you can open the simulator in Toolkit as you normally would. As you can see in this case, the machine shows up as a registered AVS device. Let's open the skill, and we should hear an audio output with a text-to-speech response.
Hey there, so happy to see you. A new digital pet store opened up in town, Posh Pets. It has all types of cute and adorable pets. They just got in some dogs and cats. Would you be interested in going over there with me and finding one for yourself?
Let's jump ahead in the skill to test a touch event.
Cats are so cuddly and sweet. I can't wait to see them. Hey, Tim. Please show us the cats.
Absolutely. Let's go this way. We have 3 in our shop right now. Chester, a British Shorthair. Belle, a Ragdoll. Coco, a Korat. Which one would you like to know more about?
Let's select Coco by simulating a touch event.
I can tell you and I would be the best of friends. Please let me be a part of your family. Name's Coco.
Would you like to take Coco home?
Now let's check out the updated local debugger. First, we just select the Node.js environment. And then let's add the Alexa skill Node.js configuration and select North America as our region. Then let's run the debugging session. As we can see, the session is active, specifically for the North America region. Now let's set up a breakpoint in our code. and we can test the skill in the simulator as you normally would. As expected, the breakpoint should be triggered. Now, let's check out the support for APL 1.6. Let's create a new APL document. You can now choose from an expanded set of APL templates. Let's choose Video Player for today. As before, you can preview the entire APL document and the output side by side. As we see here, the document says version 1.6. And as before, you can adjust the viewport profile to preview the changes in real time. Next, let's check out support for self-hosted skill deployments. Let's create a sample skill and give it a name. And let's provision our own backend this time. Let's select the programming language and the local directory to persist skill resources. Let's go ahead and create the skill. Here, we can skip ahead to the skill being created and being ready for deployment. You can see that the skill package is being updated and deployed. Finally, let's check out the new welcome screen that now features updates from the Alexa developer blog to help you discover new features and stay informed. With the updated skill simulator and local debugger, support for APL 1.6, and support for self-hosted skill deployment, we have made it even faster and easier to build skills locally. You can try out the Alexa Skills Kit Toolkit today by visiting the Visual Studio Code Marketplace or by checking out alexa.design/toolkit. To reduce the effort for you to start building skills and to make it easier to build complex skills, we introduced the controls framework for Ask SDK last year. To recap, controls make it easy to build flexible multi-turn conversations. Controls are components that are arranged in a tree structure within your skill code. For each skill request, the parent control asks the child controls if they can handle a request. And this ensures that in a multi-turn conversation, any specific user request will get handled by the expected control. Second, the reusability of controls enables you to combine them to create complex skills and reduce complexity in your skill code. Third, the controls framework supports a number of built-in controls for common use cases to help you get started quickly. For example, a list control allows you to expose a list of options for a slot that the user would choose from. And we will see this in a demo later. Finally, you can use the framework to generate interaction models programmatically, with intents and samples added by default for built-in controls. Today, we are excited to announce new features that we've added to controls to enable you to build richer, more complex skills. First, with component APL rendering, you can opt to use a component rendering style for your APL document. This mode allows you to break up an APL document into subcomponents, and then these subcomponents reside within their respective controls. You can use this to bring the APL document closer to your business logic, improving the manageability for your code. Second, we've added new pre-built controls with built-in APL support for common use cases. For example, the multi-value list control that's used for selecting multiple values from a list of options using voice or APL touch events. Or the questionnaire control for selecting options to answer a series of questions with radio check buttons, either through voice or APL touch events. And the number control for selecting a number through APL touch events on a modal keypad on screens. Third, you can now use dynamic controls to add or create new custom controls during runtime based on your application's context. With this, you will be able to manage the state between dialog turns, and recreate the tree at any point in the conversation. Next, with configurable logging, you can provide your own custom services for logging. You can also use this to set up environment variables to restrict sensitive information from being logged. And finally, we've also added new capabilities to pre-build APL for common controls, such as multiple APL modes like component and full screen, or different templates like dual list, image list renderer, checkbox style for multi-value list control. Now I'd like to walk through a demo skill that will highlight a few of these new capabilities. First, let's look at how a control tree is constructed and modified based on the dialog. Open Coffee Shop.
Welcome to the Foo Coffee Shop Center. What is your selection? Some suggestions are coffee or cookie.
I'd like 3 cups of caramel coffee.
Got it. I've added 3 cups of coffee to your shopping cart. What else would you like?
Let's look at the control tree and the code snippet to see what's happening when the user first invokes the skill. Here, the logs in the top section show that the control tree was initialized. The code snippet shows that the control tree is constructed with a shopping cart list control added to the organizer control. The logs on the top now show the state of the tree after the user has added 3 cups of caramel coffee. As you can see, the shopping cart has been updated, and additional controls have been generated for the coffee. As you can see in the code snippet, 3 dynamic controls were generated for the topping using the multi-value list control. Let's move the skill conversation forward to check out other features. Can you please remove the first coffee?
No problem. I've removed the first cup of coffee. What else would you like?
Please add a vanilla shot to the first coffee.
Got it. I've added a shot of vanilla to the first coffee. Would you like anything else?
These logs show the state of the control tree before the previous dialog. That is, before the user removed a coffee from the shopping cart. As you can see, the shopping cart has 3 coffees in it, and the second set of logs show the state of each coffee control that was generated using the dynamic controls. These logs now show the state of the control tree after the user removed the first coffee from the cart. Notice that the first set of logs only show the 2 remaining coffees in the shopping cart. More interestingly, the second logs show that the second and third coffees were automatically moved up the list. That made them the first and second items respectively. So now, the user can select the first or second coffee, and Alexa will choose the expected item from the list. All of this complexity was handled automatically by the multi-value list control. So now when the user adds vanilla to the first coffee, the skill adds vanilla to the appropriate coffee that was bumped up to the top of the list. In the code snippet below, you can see how the dynamic controls for toppings are evaluated and the deletion of the control processed in case the item was deleted. Now let's check out the final part of the demo. Add cinnamon to the caramel coffee.
Your choices are first and second coffee. Which one would you like to make this modification to?
All of them.
Got it. I've added a shot of single serving of cinnamon to the first and second coffee. Would you like anything else?
Let's dig deeper into what's happening here. When the user asks for cinnamon to be added to the caramel coffee, both the first and second coffees are identified as potential candidates, as you can see in the logs. In the code snippet, you can see that when multiple children, that is candidates, respond back with can handle equals true, the skill sets the target ambiguity to the disambiguation state, and a clarification question is asked to the skill user. Here, the logs show the state of the control tree once the user adds a shot of cinnamon to both coffees simultaneously. Controls makes it easy, add flexible disambiguation and attribute targeting to your skill, and generate flexible, natural dialogues. With new pre-built controls and support for dynamic controls, we've made it even easier to get started with controls and build rich, multi-turn skills. You can try out the controls framework today by going to alexa.design/controls. We're constantly listening for feedback for feature requests, and don't hesitate to reach out to us via the Alexa Developer Forum, GitHub, and the Alexa Community Slack channel. You can also contribute directly to our open source tools, such as the Ask command line interface, Ask SDK, and VS Code Toolkit. Please enjoy the rest of Alexa Live, and feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you.